April 17, 1975. The Khmer Rouge marches into Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia. People are cheering. After 5 years of civil war, the fighting is finally over. Peace, they think, has arrived. Instead, what arrives is one of the most radical and deadliest social experiments in human history. Within 72 hours, the entire city is emptied. Within 4 years, nearly 2 million people are dead. This is the story of Year Zero, and it's the story of what happens when a government decides that the past must be completely erased. The Khmer Rouge leadership believed they could create a pure agrarian utopia by destroying all culture and traditions within Cambodian society and replacing it with a revolutionary culture starting from scratch. April 17, 1975, the day they took power, was declared the first day of Year Zero. Everything before that date, irrelevant, to be erased, forgotten. The Khmer Rouge wanted to return Cambodia to an alleged golden age when the land was cultivated by peasants. No cities, no money, no private property, no markets, no schools, no religion, no intellectuals, just farms and loyalty to the state. The leader, Pol Pot, had studied in France in the 1950s and absorbed a toxic mix of Stalinist and Maoist ideology. He and other Khmer Rouge leaders had met with Mao Zedong in Beijing in June 1975 and received approval and advice. The plan was simple: completely redesign Cambodian society like a machine. Dismantle the old parts, replace them with new ones. What could go wrong? Within hours of taking Phnom Penh, the Khmer Rouge begins. In less than 72 hours, Phnom Penh, a city swollen to nearly 2.5 million people with refugees, is emptied. Not gradually, not with planning, immediately. Hospitals are evacuated. The ill, disabled, elderly, and very young are forced out, regardless of their physical condition. Patients are dragged from their beds and forced onto the roads. People who refuse to leave, those who don't leave fast enough, and those who won't obey orders are murdered. The official explanation? The Americans are going to bomb the city. It's a lie. The real reason? The Khmer Rouge believed that city dwellers had been corrupted by Western capitalist ideas. Once in control, the Khmer Rouge forced 3 million civilians to the nation's rural fields to work long hours of back-breaking slave labor, with little, if anything, to eat. Schools are closed, religion is banned, money is abolished. Within weeks, Cambodia has been transformed, or more accurately, demolished. But emptying the cities wasn't enough. The Khmer Rouge had a list, a very long list. Lawyers, doctors, teachers, engineers, scientists, and professional people in any field are murdered, together with their extended families. The simple act of wearing glasses becomes enough to mark someone as an intellectual, and thus an enemy of the regime, deserving death. Let me repeat that. Wearing glasses could get you executed. It was possible for people to be shot simply for knowing a foreign language, laughing, or crying. One Khmer Rouge slogan ran, "To spare you is no profit, to destroy you is no loss." Over 90% of Cambodia's Buddhist monks are killed or defrocked. Pagodas are destroyed or converted into barns. Theaters, schools, and libraries are burned. Meanwhile, in the countryside, people are dying in other ways. Malnutrition and medical neglect are rampant. When labor falls short of production goals, men, women, and children are beaten. From January 1977, all children from the age of 8 are separated from their parents and placed in labor camps. The Khmer Rouge teaches these children that the state is their true parents. Families are systematically destroyed. What became known as the killing fields, where piles of decaying bodies littered the earth, notoriously bore witness to the genocide. Cadres are arrested, tortured, and sent to execution centers like Tuol Sleng or S21, a former high school converted into a torture prison where inmates are photographed, shackled, electrocuted, waterboarded, and forced to sign false confessions. Of the estimated 17,000 people sent there, only a handful survive. The revolution is eating itself. Between 1975 and 1979, between 1.2 to 2.8 million people died. That's roughly 1 in 4 Cambodians dead in less than 4 years, from execution, from starvation, from disease, from exhaustion. An estimated 1.5 million to 3 million Cambodians died during the Khmer Rouge's rule. For context, that's more deaths than in the entire Rwandan genocide, in a country with a smaller population, in about the same amount of time. And it wasn't a war. It was a government systematically destroying its own people in the name of creating a better society. On January 7, 1979, the Vietnamese invasion ended the genocide by defeating and overthrowing the Khmer Rouge regime. The Khmer Rouge's collapse was as swift as its rise. What sealed their fate was the total alienation of the Cambodian people. The regime had terrorized its own citizens so thoroughly that few were willing to fight for it. Many even welcomed the Vietnamese as liberators. Pol Pot, he died in 1998 before war crimes trials took place. Though tried in absentia, he was never punished for his crimes and remained unrepentant until the end. In 1979, after Pol Pot was toppled and his crimes were well known, the U.S. and other countries supported the Khmer Rouge, being granted Cambodia's seat at the United Nations, making them the officially recognized government. Why? Because the Cold War was more important than justice. It wasn't until 2006 that formal criminal proceedings regarding the genocide began. 30 years later, most of the leadership was dead by then. The absolute, unshakable belief that you know how society should work and that anyone who disagrees deserves to die. The Khmer Rouge believed society could be completely redesigned from scratch. Instead, they created one of the greatest tragedies of the 20th century.